take you for Dadabi.
Oh, I've
You've tried your best.
I've done it before.
To ride in a Trotsky before.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's fine. But STC issues, and every single day the issues are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think that it's something that cuts across all our state-owned enterprises, particularly in terms of their capacity to deliver. You know, it's one thing, you know, speaking all the nice English and creating the impression that everything is okay. Then it's another thing knowing that you are in trouble. I mean, if we hadn't broken the news about STC, do you think that STC would have bothered to explain to us, the people of Ghana, who are 80% shareholders in the business of STC, they would have bothered to explain to us in any way that this is our current situation. Our fleet are old. They cannot do the travels anymore. We are in the process of getting new buses from China or Turkey. We owe our staff this much. We have not paid them. We are working at paying them. We owe ADB this much. Do you think that they would have told us if all of these things had not come up?
Would you have told us if this was the level of management or what was going on in your backyard? We have that culture that unless a journalist speaks up or we do some sort of expose or investigation, we know nothing of what is going on unless you maybe read about it in the dailies. And in these days, depending on who owns which newspaper, you can't even be sure of what you are reading. There's always some sort of twist or slant to it, which is also very problematic. So, like you said, unless or until you had highlighted what is going on, I was none the wiser. In fact, I would have not known that out of 145 buses, only 39 or so are currently operational. These are things that I think are quite alarming. But yesterday when we spoke with Mr. Yawanana, he laid out the issues very clearly. And for the staff, it appears their main concern is that they want STC to thrive. And they think a more prudent use of the resources would be to acquire buses that are fit and strong and can be maintained over a long period of time instead of employing deputy managers who they say they have done without for a very long time.
That's right.
And I don't think that is anything so outrageous or out of place for staff to bring up. I think that shows that a staff that actually care about what they are doing, at least from where I'm sitting, enough to raise these issues and put them into perspective for us.
You know, I see the story at STC as quite troubling, and you know, the managing director of STC has been dragged into it, obviously, because the buck stops with the boss. And people have raised a concern that the managing director is focused more on espousing what he thinks or considered to be the good side of the government in the media landscape or on the media landscape, championing the Dr. Baumia campaign to break the 8, and rather than focusing on what is happening at his backyard. I mean, you and I have sat here and eulogized Nana Kumia in the not so distant past to say that, well, since he took over STC, I mean, some of the issues that have come up now, we honestly would never have known.
That's right.
Honestly, we would never have known what was happening at STC. You know, and if the jeopardy of your pension is dangling before you, or is being dangled before you, you get worried, because you live in a country where there's no proper social support.
That's right.
You live in a country where there's no unemployment benefit. You live in a country where even credit cards are difficult to come by. You live in a country where, you know, things are getting harder and harder, and you can't just walk up to anybody to say, give me A or B or C, you know. So you want to be able to set aside something for yourself to make your life and that of your dependents comfortable in the not so distant future, or in the future, the long run. Now you are hearing that your tier 2 and tier 1 have not been paid, and even your provident fund is in arrears. What that means is your tier 2 is supposed to be invested by the fund manager, right?
That's right.
So that the dividends that come from it is then shared among all of you, the contributors, depending on how much you had invested into it. So let's say your tier 2 deduction on a monthly basis is, say, 82 cedis, okay? or 55 cedis. So by 12 months, you are getting maybe 70, 80, 700, 800, 900 tops, thereabout.
Right.
If these 900 Ghana cedis had been invested, and for a period of 10 years, that money had been invested, turned around, pushed here to that, in very viable businesses or ventures, you are sure that by the time you are due for pension, this your tier 2 would have appreciated, handsomely.
That's right.
But now your tier 2 is in arrears, which means that the monies have been deducted from your account, but they have not been paid or given to the fund managers to invest it in your interest. And that's where the problem is.
That's right.
So that if I have 700 Ghana cedis and I decide not to take it to the bank on January 1, 2024, and I decide to take it to the bank on January 31st, December 31st, 2024, I would have still saved my money in the bank. If somebody has 700 Ghana cedis, which is their tier 2, and they decide to put it in the bank on January 1 or January 2, because first is a holiday, so January 2, 2024, by December 31, 2024, when I will now be saving my money, that person would have made interest on their money.
That's right.
So when you take my money and you fail to invest it, what you're doing is that you are harming my future. And you are not even telling me until I find out. That's unfair.
Beyond unfair, I mean, that's...
I don't have to be the one to find out. Because the rules of the calculation of, what do you call it? Let me just find it. The rules of the calculation of your pension is very well, is there. Everybody knows how the calculation is done. So, contribution rates under the Social Security scheme, right? The employer pays 13% from the worker's basic salary. And then the worker, after the employer has deducted 13% of your salary as tier 1 to pay to SNIT, you also as the worker have to pay 5.5% from the worker's basic salary. This will bring to a total of 13 plus 5.5 is 18.5, correct?
That's right.
Then out of the 18.5, the employer remits 13.5 within 14 days of the ensuing month to SNIT. And then 5% is remitted to the second tier mandatory occupational scheme. So what goes to SNIT is 13.5. What goes to your fund manager that you choose and which is by law, right, is the 5% from you. Then subsequently, SNIT also gives 2.5 of the 13% out to the National Health Insurance Scheme, which we know today is owed 2.4 billion cedis. How that happens, we don't want to know. And then SNIT effectively holds 11% for the administration of tier 1. So now your tier 1 becomes 11%, and then your tier 2 becomes 5%. So effectively, you have contributed 5% of your basic salary after your company had deducted 13%. And then your company has also paid 2% for NHIS. Now, if tier 1 is in arrears, in the particular case of STC, tier 1, which is their SNIT, the 11% or 13%.
How many months did they say?
Oh, that one I think is about to the tune of 6 million or so.
6 million.
Yeah, to the tune of 6 million. And then their provident fund, which is tier 3, is also in arrears. And then tier 2 is also in arrears. So you owe them in the morning, you owe them in the afternoon, and you owe them in the evening.
And the durations are also quite staggering.
Quite staggering.
Yes.
Some 6 years, some 6 million, some 6 months.
So Johnny, please clarify for me. In arrears for 6 years, that means that time period where the money would have had an opportunity to have been invested to grow year on year, do you get reimbursed for that lag in time that your money was not growing, was not doing anything?
By who?
Because that is so significant.
By who?
If you and I were on the same tangent, you had given your money to SNIT, and I decided that, oh no, please, I'll give my money to some other person to manage and invest. In that 6 years, my money would have had an opportunity to grow. Yours would not.
And that's why I use the analogy of somebody having money and saving it on the 1st of January. And another having the same amount of money and saving it on the 31st of December. The person who put the money in on the 1st of January would have had some interest, and the money would have grown.
That's right.
The person who put it there, even though they will have the same basic investment, the person who put it there on the 31st will have to wait till the next year to count even so, if this person decides to roll over whatever they got in year 2024, right, they would have made more money by the end of 2025 when this man would have also left his money there, because the money keeps growing.
That's
if
right.
you keep investing it. Now, to say that for 6 years their investment have not been made, and you listen to the comment from STC, and they are talking about the fact that it started a long time ago. So yes, it started a long time ago, so we are also continuing. It doesn't really.
And that for me is what I find so problematic. Some of these appointments that we made, slice it and dice it however you want to, is politically inclined, so that even in the communication you see that it is politically tainted, or at least it's been politically colored. Because of what use is it to me as an ordinary Ghanaian trying to find out or weighing in on these STC matters, that it has been done before? The reason why one would seek to bring that in, is it not politics?
It is politics.
Is it not pure politics?
It is. And you see, this tier 2 conversation is not just an STC matter.
That's right.
Yesterday in my digging, I also got to find out that the Judicial Service Association, right? Judicial Service, that includes all those court clerks, the people who actually oil the judicial service to be able to deliver justice. Their tier 2 have also been deducted, but has not been paid to be invested. Graphic Communications Group Limited, their tier 2 has been deducted, but has not been paid to be invested. All the 10 technical universities in Ghana, their tier 2 has been deducted, but has not been paid to be invested. Metro Mass Transport, their tier 2 has been deducted, but has not been paid for investment. And I have all the documents. In the case of Metro Mass, for example, listen to it. They set up a committee to look into it by the National Labour Commission. They set up a committee to look into the happenings at the NHI, at the MMT. And I'll quickly read to you. So this is part of the report, paragraph 5.12, tier 2 and tier 3 pension scheme. This is from the Metro Mass report. On the issue of the outstanding payment of deductions made from workers' salary for the purposes of their tier 2 and 3 contributions, data presented by the committee indicated that as of December 2022, there was an outstanding payment of 7,117,138. 7,117,138. And then 10,406,678,030 pesos, respectively, totaling 622,825,030 pesos. Now, the above figure represents accumulation from the year 2018 to December 2022. You see where this is going? Payments towards such contributions were suspended in the year 2018, and that has created the accumulated figure mentioned above. Nonetheless, it is worth noting that while general payments on the above items were suspended, payments on behalf of employees who retired were made in view of their vulnerable situation. It was agreed that all the above indicated amount cannot be paid in the year 2023. It was therefore necessary to draw a payment plan and projections towards the eventual payment of the total amount. Both parties therefore agreed that the cutoff for the accumulation of the debt on the two tiers should be done in June 2023. Payments for employees who are either on retirement or going on retirement will continue to be made. It is projected that effective July 2023, deductions made for the purposes of Tier 2 and Tier 3 will be paid to the fund managers in addition to parts of the accumulated amount, and that is projected to continue till the total debt is cleared. Details of the projections towards payment of the outstanding figures for the 2 tiers are attached to this report, and I have that as well. Tomorrow we'll share that on Johnny's Bite. But this
when is this dated, please?
Oh no, this is a report that's dated 2022.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
2022. So the guys at Metro Mass, they went to the Labour Commission to say, look, we are paying our staff, they are being deducted, but we don't see it reflecting with the fund managers. And then a committee was set up by the National Labour Commission, and this one of the findings that they brought, Tier 2 and Tier 3. I'm saying that it cuts across this Tier 2, Tier 3 business. So we are literally joking with people's pension.
Joking with people's lives.
Yes. People's future. Yes. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
People's future. That's what we are joking with. So we don't say, look, find us the table, the investments that have been made. And you know, when we talk about SNIT, it has a correlation to this one, because SNIT is the one that went to, Parliament to say, we want this law to do this, we want this law to do that. And so the second tier and the first tier, right, they are mandatory. That is why it is deducted from source, from your basic salary. Okay. Now, this is the 2022 Auditor General's report. And if you're watching us live on Facebook, you will see this on 3FM 927. Now, Helen, unlisted companies that have not paid dividends for the past 10 years. So for the past 10 years, we have sunk money into these, investments. The monies that were sunk into this is the 13% that I told you was deducted.
Right.
And then your 5.5%, which was also deducted, making 18%, which 5% was given to the Tier 2, and then 2.5% was given to NHIS.
That's right.
So the remainder of 11% of your basic salary, your sweat, has been invested into these companies. Golden Beach Hotel Services, Kumasi Abattoir Company Limited, CDH, Accra Abattoir Limited, Bayport Financial Services, Trust Logistics Limited, Interstate STC Limited, Africa World Airlines Limited, Simnet, Metro Mass Transit Limited. They have been invested into these things. And for 10 years, 10 companies that we sunk our monies into so that they could work and get dividends and get money for us to be able to enjoy our future. They didn't pay a peso. Now, if you, for example, look at the sharehold percentage, it's just there. You help me with that. That's the
right. So Golden Beach Hotel has 100% shareholding. Kumasi Abattoir.
No, so let's take your time.
All right.
Golden Beach Hotel.
Sure.
100% owned by SNIT. Is that one of the hotels that we're going to sell?
Is it? Let's have a look.
Golden Beach Hotel. We have 100% shares in that hotel. 100% shares in that hotel. What is SNIT's current value of that hotel? That's 52 million.
Yes.
52 billion, actually.
Oh, million. 52.8 million.
Yeah.
Million.
52.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, 52.8 million.
That is what we have.
Cities, that's right.
And then they have not paid anything in 10 years.
Nothing.
As of 2022. Go on, please.
So we have Kumasi Abattoir Company Limited. Is that figure correct where it says the shareholding is 52970? I'm not too sure about that.
I'm not too sure about that.
I don't know what that, it might be a typo. I can't, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that out. But they too have not paid anything in the last 10 years. You have CDH. They have a 1.30% shareholding. You have Accra Abattoir Limited, a 36.6% shareholding. You also have Bayport Financial Service Limited, a 1.11% shareholding. Trust Logistics Limited, 100%.
100% owned by SNIT.
That's right.
So 100% owned by you and I.
That's right.
Great.
Intercity STC Limited, 80%.
80%.
Correct.
So if STC is going down, we should be worried.
Definitely.
That's our money going down.
Definitely. African World Airlines Limited, 10%.
Right.
To Simnet, some 85%. And also Metro Mass Transit Limited, I think that's 11.67%.
Okay. So now let's go back to when we started the investment in these companies. We have Golden Beach Hotel is what, 1999?
That's right.
And then Kumasi Abattoir, July of 1996. CDH is July of 1986. Accra Abattoir Limited is July of 1996. Bayport Financial Services is April of 2006. Trust Logistics is 2001. Intercity STC is July of 2000. Africa World Airlines is August 2012. Simnet is July 2004. And Metro Mass is July 2003. So we have invested so much in these institutions, and that if they were viable and making money, right, and not being run like, oh, makwe, people will go home smiling.
You would look
and
forward
happy.
to your retirement.
And we have people who have lived out there, who have worked, and they come back and say, oh, I'm on retirement. It's my pension, and I have my health insurance card. It's my pension, And they live comfortably. They are okay. How did they get to our 10 and then all of these things are just not working? And you are not being allowed to say what you have to say. It's not fair. If we have 80% shares in STC, 80% of the shares in STC, and STC is the way it is. Sometimes when you have a relative who has a business, and they say business grows when friends and family pay.
That's right.
So you would want to use the services of STC because you know that you have 80% of your money there, and that if you help the business to grow by patronizing it and recommending it to others to also patronize, the business will grow, you make more money, and in the future we'll all smile together.
That's right.
Then you get there, and yesterday the gentleman said the services that were promised when the new buses were brought in, some of those services have ceased to exist because the company is in a dire situation. Look, sisters, play that thing for me. The Yawanana's tape is the union chairman, senior staff. Just listen to him. The workers obviously will not be happy knowing that the pension that they are working towards is in arrears. Their provident fund is in arrears, and then their tier 2 is also in arrears. That's not good for the workers and their morale. What is the morale like at STC as we speak?
It's very, 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 the workers' morale is very down. We are very, very sad about the situation. And, the pension deductions are our future. And what we are supposed to use when we go on retirement is being treated this way. It's a very, very sad situation.
Now, you tell me, we were promised that the STC will be of top-notch quality. We will see hostesses or stewards well-suited in your traditional colors. They will wear suits and they will wear nice Glengarry, and they will serve people on their coaches, and internet, Wi-Fi connection and charging of our phones, etc. will be a normal thing. Is that happening?
Currently, it's not happening.
2.7.
But so we are not seeing that thing.
I didn't get you. Your line is cracking. What did you say?
I said that is not happening currently because we are in a very precarious situation. So those happening.
You sounded very worried that if care is not taken, STC will crash. And I'm worried as well. Are you not just crying wolf and setting us all on the edge?
No, that is the truth that we are telling. That is the very truth. That is the truth. The situation in the company is dire.
3FM 92.7.
The situation in the company is dire from the horse's own mouth. That is the truth that they are sharing with us, Helen. It's the truth. You heard him.
Indeed.
Said the story, the services that we were told we will get, because the company is literally sinking, we can't give the clients that service. And it hurts because you want to sit in an STC bus because you know you have your money there, your investment is there. If you look at your STC bus and then you look at their competitors, which is the next door, which one would you want to ride in?
It's Johnny, it's sad. Yesterday, like I said, Mr. Anana was speaking with a lot of passion. It appeared to me that this is a gentleman that cares about the job. And yesterday he says STC doesn't need new deputy managing directors. He said the money will be better spent elsewhere. He says what they need, new buses that run, that operate, so that the business can grow. Simple.
Well, it's 8:50 a.m. here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We don't know what you think, but this is a very, very critical matter. And maybe it will be a launchpad into other state-owned enterprises, how they are faring. Because every year, SIGA holds this, call it what, the league table thing. And then they tell us, oh, the companies that are doing very well. I don't think that we are doing ourselves a lot of good if we know what the problems are, and yet we pretend that, oh, everything is okay. For me, it becomes worse. So why are we praising ourselves when indeed the situation is not the best? What are we trying to achieve? What are we really trying to achieve?
We've got to start being honest, and we as a people as well, we are the true holders of power. The officials that we elect to lead and who subsequently make these appointments, they owe us a profound duty. They have to use public funds wisely and efficiently, ensuring that every single city spent benefits the common good. And it is their responsibility to treat us with the utmost respect. I don't understand sometimes, again, when the communiques come out, it is just tinged with what I just say, political colors going backwards and forwards. What are we trying to say here?
I'm looking at the 2021 league table, SIGA league table. I see, I'm trying to find STC. Where's STC? State.
I don't think you'll find STC.
Oh, I should find STC, please. If I can find, Aligibam's place, guys, called ICO. I can find ICO.
Aligibam is there.
Yeah, Aligibam is represented here. I'm trying to find STC. I can't find it. I can't find it. So there's Food and Drugs Authority, Civil Aviation Authority, Ghana Petroleum Corporation, BOSS, or now BEST, Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, Shippers Authority, Sea Standards Authority, Airports. I can't see STC. Then you were right. Or maybe it's spelled differently. It's been captured differently. I don't know. I can't seem to find it. No, I've given up. I can't find it in there. But how did they not make it at all? It's not possible.
How many?
There are 64.
64, okay.
64 there, they should be part of. Yeah, because they are. Even Kumasi, because Kumasi Abattoir has also not paid anything within 10 years, right?
That's right.
I found STC.
Oh, I see.
Number 60.
Okay.
Out of 64. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
They are number 60 on the 2021 league table of State Interest and Governance Authority, state-owned enterprises. Their website, STC, is number 60. You know, they were captured as Intercity STC Limited. That's why I didn't see
Okay, so this ranking is it number one is performing the best all the way down?
Yes.
Who came last?
Last Pepe is Venture Capital Trust Fund.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the last Pepe. Then Ghana Women Fund followed. Then Ghana
Ghana Women Fund.
Yeah.
Slow.
Then Northern Development Authority, and then STC, Intercity STC Limited. Kumasi Abattoir Company Limited, New Times Corporation, National Information Technology Agency, that's NITA, Produced by Company Limited. You know, Produced by Company Limited, they have had their things auctioned. PBC.
I see.
You remember? Oh, you didn't hear the PBC thing, the old money, the old banks, and things.
Everything is now been taken.
So if STC is within the same place like PBC,
that's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Then Aligibam's company is at 53. Irrigation Company of Upper Regions, ICOR. Then there's SIC Life 52. National Theatre is number 50.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh boy, Charlie. Adiam, give us music and let's be cooling down.